Welcome to Rick's Scale Model Fix and a brand new kit review. This time it's the big one, the brand new Fairey Gannet AS1-AS4 in 48 scale from Airfix. This has been a long time coming, and this was announced early in January 2023 and has been released right at the death of November, early December. Now we've had some teasing photos and test shots and videos of Airfix over the last sort of few weeks, months, showing the benefits of this kit, and I'm sure we won't be disappointed. The box is huge. This is on a A2 cutting mat, and it doesn't leave much room for manoeuvre. The kit number for this one is A1-AS4. We've got some fantastic box top artwork there, and I'm sure many of you, like me, will trim this red ribbon off the bottom and use that on the workshop wall as artwork. Other highlights: I can't manoeuvre the box around the workbench, but we've got cartograph decals, etc., and we've got some box artwork there repeated on the ends of the box. So let's lift the lid, get the sprues on the bench, and have a look at the instruction booklet. So the first look at the kit, and we're going to have a look at the instruction booklet, and this will give us an idea of what we've got in store. So it's the usual Airfix Hornby format. We've got multilingual synopsis of the history and specification of the type, and then my eyes have just been drawn to a note that says, due to the size and weight of the rear fuselage and tail surfaces of this model, it requires quite a large amount of weight to be added to the forward fuselage to enable the model to rest on its nose wheel. There are two places we recommend this is added. So see step 4, page 3, and step 23 on page 4. The weight suggested should be regarded as the minimum that needs to be added to avoid a tail sitter. So you've been warned. And then we've got some list of thanks down at the bottom as well. Turning the page, we've got some more multilingual synopsis carried over, assembly instructions, so just basically saying study what you're looking at, make sure it all works, and we've got the icons used throughout the build. First thing that's a little bit striking there is that the diagrams are quite small. Anyway, construction starts in stage 1, and we're looking at building up a central Bombay fuselage floor, if you like, and that carries on through up until stage 6 with the start of the addition, perhaps the nose gear bay, I think, bulkheads. And then we're starting to build up the pilot's observer and radio operator station, and that all looks quite detailed. Even those diagrams are quite small though. This is all coming together in step 17, where we've got the instrument panels, the seats, the central wing spar, radio gear all coming into play. So it'll be interesting when we look at the plastic to see what sort of detail is included on these parts. Fuselage halves coming together, step 2021, with some internal sidewall detail, and it's looking as though we've got decals there. Here's that all important call out for weight, and it's saying 55 grams, so that's quite a lot of weight there. This central assembly that we've now built up being trapped between the fuselage halves with some adequate wing spars coming through, and then we've got a few add-on panels. So clearly this is one of the first indicators that we may be seeing a T5 or a COD version, as we do have an insert there, as obviously some of those would have had a blanking plate fitted over that part. And it's just a note that the model cannot rest on its wheels with the radome in the extended position. Looking at stage 25, and we're looking at building up some main gear assemblies. They look quite interestingly detailed. Some little pointers along the way to help the fit. Flaps, by the looks of things, strange one to come in, but it's repeated again. Port and starboard, again some test fitting may be required, and it says do not glue, so you've been warned. Turning the page over again, and we've got the wings starting to come together, so we've got holes to open up for the rocket rails and pylons. and then we've got some strengthening sections by the looks of it going in with the main gear bay, top and bottom coming in, and then this wing sitting on those spars being pushed into a recess that's been purposely designed to make the wing joint better, and then repeated throughout. For the other side, ailerons separate and all glass or all clear wing tips for the nav lights there as well. So looking like quite a detailed and comprehensive build. These sections relate to the wings folded sections of the model, the model if you want the wings folded in. It's a unique Z design on the Gannet, so I'll certainly be building one with the wings extended and one with the wings folded, as they are quite two strikingly different models. And now this goes through in detail showing you how to build up that wing fold. Moving to the rear, we've got rudder, elevators, etc., and those little stabilizer finlets that are being added. Flaps can be in the lowered or deployed position and retracted. And another nice little tip is that the part numbers are actually printed on little tabs on the flap hinges, so that you can remove all those and clean them up, paint them, and then remove them before adding to the model, so there's no chance of getting those all mixed up. Very, very helpful. You can clearly see that there's some thought gone into this, and the designer is a modeller, and it shows. Coming on to the front end, and we have the nose with the prop shafts, put and wheels assembly, and again there's some little notes there about wheels up or wheels down, so just follow those through your elected path. Again, the undercarriage looks to be very well detailed, and a lot of detail and a lot of smaller parts coming in there as well. Got two propellers that can turn independently by the looks of it, which is interesting. Closed Bombay door, and why you'd want to close that with all that detail in there, heaven only knows. Just having a scoot through, and we've got some weapons included, and depth charges, sonar buoys, etc., as you'd find for this type. Bombay's open, so you can show all that detail. I think my option there would be to have the Bombays open without the weapons in, so you could see all that lovely detail. That'll come up really, really nicely with some sympathetic painting and wash. Rocket rails and projectiles going on if you so desire. Cockpit glass, windscreen wiper included or windscreen not. So if you want to add a photo etch wiper from an Edard kit maybe. We also have a little template for the aerial on the spine, so another nice touch, thank you Airfix. Cockpit glass, closed door open. There's the radome being deployed, tail hook, other small lumps and bumps, exhausts, and then the back page accommodates the final assembly of those Z-fold wings. Wow, that looks to be a really detailed and sophisticated kit, and it's certainly going to be a bit of a longer project, and if you take your time with that, you're going to be presented with an absolutely stunning replica of the Gannet. So we have the marking options included in the kit, and there's three. These are on A4 glossy paper. So we have Scheme A, which is the box top one, which depicts an 849 Naval Air Squadron HQ training flight, Culdrose 1959, with a striking red spinner. Standard dark sea grey, extra dark sea grey, over sky. On the rear of that you've got Scheme B, 815 Naval Air Squadron Art Royal 1958, and that's got different coloured spinner. And then probably the most striking example in the kit, marking option C, is 847 Squadron RAF Nicosia Cyprus 1957, And just to point out there, it says recognition markings for Suez Crisis was specified as yellow and black. It appears the stripes on 086 were applied in either white or pale yellow. So you take your choice there, unless you've got research to substantiate doing them in white. So just might be a little bit of care needed there. Stenciling, gotta love it. That's going to keep you amused for quite some time. Decal sheet, as we said in the opening segment, is printed by Cartograph. It's going to be perfect, it's going to be expertly researched, and it's aftermarket quality, and there's no more to be said. Everything looks well, everything looks proportionate, and everything looks to be the correct colours and shades. Fantastic stuff. Taking the first look at the plastic, and it's now the familiar dark grey plastic that Airfix have sensibly seen to produce all their kits in now. So this is sprue J, and it's looking as though this is predominantly the weapons sprue. So we've got those rocket projectiles and the rails, all looking very nice. Nothing much really to write home about. It's a decent weapon sprue. I'd have to have a look at what different types of weapons the Gannet carried. It's not an aircraft that I'm over familiar with, but nonetheless it looks comprehensive. So they've got a number of sprues on this main frame. We've got H, G and F. So being cynical, I would expect that these can be turned on or off and perhaps cater for some other variants. Who knows? So we have these propellers and this cockpit sidewall detail, which is worth having a closer look at. Exquisitely done. Bulkhead and instrumentation is nice. There's some lovely detail and rivet work on these, just around that area. You're not going to need much more, I don't think, in the way of cockpit embellishment. Seats may be a little bit thick. Sand those down with a sanding stick. And there's those three crew figures as well. Blind side, no real ejector pin marks to worry about. Don't think there's going to be any that are visible in any places. Certainly going to build up to be quite a comprehensive and nicely detailed cockpit. Just on the sprue F here we have what would appear to be the nose gear legs and the nose gear undercarriage, and we've got some of the smaller parts and sprue G and H. We've got aerial fits and things like that. So I'm certainly thinking that these are probably going to result in other variants at some point of this kit. Okay, so we've got sprue E, and we've got a mass and wealth of detail. So this looks as though it's been primarily given to the wing fold, and some of the details on these wing fold parts are absolutely stunning. I just need to check myself at this moment. This is an Airfix kit and not a Tamiya kit. Yeah, it's Airfix. We have weight on wheels. Not a great fan of wheel halves, but we can be forgiven. They'll probably fit quite well, and if not, resin ones will be out in due course, I'm sure. And we've got some lovely surface rivet detail on these parts here. So it's looking as though we've got a real treat on our hands in terms of this kit. Dare I say it could be Airfix's best yet. Sprue C, and these sprues are quite large. There are a bit of problems manoeuvring them around the bench. And we have the separate parts for those folded wings, the inboard sides I believe, as there are another set of wings on another sprue there. So that's a nice touch by Airfix, that they've given you separate parts for the separate options, rather than getting you, as other manufacturers perhaps would, to cut along a line to make your own wing fold. I think it's going to look a lot neater for a lot of people than trying to butcher some parts and getting it all to fit. We've got elevators there by the looks of it, and the rudders, Bombay doors, and again there's some really nice riveting detail on these. Certainly the best I've seen in an Airfix kit of late. No ejector pins on any of the internal surfaces there that are going to be visible. Nice one, fantastic. So introducing sprue B, and we've got the single piece wings. Still a massive fan of this. It's like, how complicated would that be if that was cut and you had to make your own wing fold? Might pay a bit more for it in the kit, but if you want to do that, that makes life so much easier. There's some really nice raised detail on these parts as well. I don't know if the camera can pick those out. And the riveting again is really, really well done and in scale, and it's raised and recessed where needed. And here we have that radome insert, which I'm sure for the COD 4 and the T5 this was blanked off, so there's a hint there maybe. So the all important sprue A with the fuselage, and again detail on this fuselage is absolutely fantastic. I don't know whether the camera will do that justice, but some of the riveting work on this is as good as it gets in my opinion. Here's that recess I mentioned in the instruction book that's been purposely designed into the kit to make the wing route to fuselage a lot easier and fit a lot better. And here we have that single piece Bombay, and we've got some lovely detail on the bulkheads for the main gear, etc. there as well. There's that central cockpit floor, again some lovely detailing on there, and that Bombay as well. Going to the blind side, and we do have some flashed over porthole windows that the T5 would have, so there's definitely a T5 coming. Bit cruder on the inside, but can't blame Airfix for that. Costs money to polish and mould and seam, but they have seen to sort of reduce the height of those ejector pins that are in there, and I'm sure none of that will be seen on the finished and completed model. So just again some more detail on these parts. So just taking a look at sprue L, which is all the clear parts, and we have those canopy sections, etc. Hard to show canopies on camera, but they're flawless. And there's that front windscreen with or without that windscreen wiper. Certainly makes masking a bit easier, and I'm sure Red Ad or somebody will come along with a canopy mask that will include a cutout for that wind wiper anyway. So all in all, quite nice. You're going to need to be careful removing those canopies from the sprues, as the attachment points are quite thick there. So perhaps a little bit of a work with a single blade nipper or a razor saw might be preferred, I think, than just trying to get them off. So there we have the Airfix 1/48 scale Fairey Gannet AS1-AS4, and it's an absolute beast of a kit. I choose these words very carefully, and I will say that if it builds as good as it looks in the box, then this will be my kit of the year for 2023. There's a lot of thought gone into the tooling and the design process. Clearly it's been designed by a modeller, and it shows. There's a lot of little helpful tips and a bit about thought about the construction that's gone into the kit that will make the modeller's life a lot easier. I'm sure in 24 or 25 there'll be further options of this kit available. Certainly the portholes are there for a T5, so I'm thinking we'll see one of those. I'm not sure whether the windows were actually on the clear sprue, so let's have a look. They are. Yes, the portholes are on the clear sprue, so it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility to perhaps convert this one to a T5 in that attractive aluminium and fluorescent red colour scheme. So there's my review. I think the kit's fantastic and a giant leap forward for Airfix. So until the next one, everyone stay well, take care and stay safe.